Hey guys, Marty here. Just giving you guys an update on the build I'm currently working on. It's Ngamahu Cyclone Slayer right now. Originally I was intending on playing Ascendant with this character, but I just found the Ascendant Leech to be like kind of weak for mapping. I really wanted to run Volpack Blood Rage, and I found that if I ever had a period of like 5 seconds where I wasn't leech or actively attacking things, my leech would be gone instantly and I'd be degenning pretty hard. It might not have been a problem in higher maps, and I might return to the Ascendant at some point and kind of work on both at once, because I think at this point Ascendant would definitely be better for like doing Guardians and Shaper and Uber Elder and whatnot. I only need to get to like level 95, which is only like a day or two of playing to be ready for that stuff. So I definitely might see a return of the Ascendant, but this is kind of how the character is right now, just a Slayer. Yeah, everything's been going super smooth on this character. I originally started out with Ellie Overload, using some accuracy jewels to try and make up the loss of accuracy, but it just felt a little bit clunky. The EO wasn't up as often as I'd like, especially on bosses that are with kind of small hitboxes. It still felt fine, it flowed perfectly, but by respecing to Resolute Technique, I was able to get about 1,000 more life and pretty comparable damage, maybe even a little bit higher. Well, definitely a little bit higher, not counting the LR overload, but potentially pretty comparable damage even with the LR overload factored in, just by having that guaranteed hit. It let me take a couple more damage nodes on the tree, you know, things like that. I'm pretty happy with it as Resolute Technique. It's extremely tanky. I've been able to do a lot of stuff on this character. I basically filled out my entire atlas on it. As you guys know, I did Burial Chambers and Volcanoes to level 100 on my bow character, and I needed to get my atlas set up. Right now my goal with my atlas is to set it to tier 16 maps, and I've been doing all that on this character, just been running every corrupted map. The only mods I'm really avoiding are Elemental Reflect and Cannot Leech, and it did all of them super easily. I don't think I have maybe one or two close calls on the character, and both of them were before I switched to Resolute Technique. You can see I also did some labs on this character. It's a great character for labs. You know, like 8k life, Volpack, Slayer Leech. It's like pretty hard to die in labs. You can do any mods on the lab and throw some loot in there. First time where I've kind of got this background footage in a video, so you know, you guys can let me know what you think about it. I can definitely do more of this stuff if you like it. But you know, I just did about 3 minutes of it there, so I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. It's something new for me, and I might try and do that a bit more in the future. But this is my gear right now. It is kind of expensive, the gear I'm using. Like, 6-link Warweave, pretty pricey, but you don't need a 6-link. A 5-link would be totally fine. The 6-link is just some damage or AoE on your Cyclone, but your balls do the majority of your damage. That's why this build is so nice, is that, especially on single target, like the balls make up like a majority of your damage. Like, it's noticeable when you proc like 5 or 6 balls and they all fall on your single target, they just get chunked so hard. It's a great feeling. Helmet, just went with a Blood Rage enchant, nothing too crazy. I rolled this myself. I'll probably try and roll it better later on, but for now it's working. I'm capped reses. I'm like well over capped. Those who know my characters, I don't normally go for LE weakness cap. And this character's no different. It just happens that I have high res because I replaced a ring when I went to Resolute Technique, and now, you know, my res are just fucking amazing, so that's cool. The Zoph's Blood, pretty pricey, but it's not necessary. If you don't have a Zoph's Blood, you can path up 5 points to Avatar of Fire, and it'll work. I mean, Zoph's Blood's really good for damage. It gives some pen, gives a lot of strength, and it gives you the Covered in Ash, which are all great, but they're far from necessary. I'm even considering potentially replacing this with like an Elder Amulet with maximum life leech per second, but I'm not entirely sure whether I want to do that. It would have to be a really good roll for me to make it worth it, so I may end up just sticking with the Zoph's Blood. I'm also considering a Combs Heart and going for my Cyclone and Insanity gloves, but it's not really something I've gone for yet. I'm still thinking about it. The problem with that is like my map clear will feel really bad, because the Cyclone does the majority of the work on the map clear. It's kind of like the balls are the boss damage. So it'd probably still be fine, but you know, it's something I'll be testing in the future. We'll see how that works out. 2-socket Bonnets, not really necessary. You could go with rare boots pretty easily. I just went with these because the total amount of life you can get and utility out of these is actually pretty insane. I mean, like with these 2 gems in here, it's like a 96 life boots with 6% life and 30% increased damage and 30% move speed. That's pretty ridiculous. The enchant's just not even intentional. I'm actually going to try and replace it. I'm currently working on enchanting some Bubonic Trails while I run my labs. I'd like to get penetration on them if possible, but I'd also settle for just attack speed to make the mapping a little more smooth on my leap slams. I got Enfeeble on hit, Tomb Fist, not necessary at all. You could just go 2-socket Tomb Fist. I don't think those are even very expensive right now. All of my jewels are just kind of like random jewels that have fit like tier 1 life rolls. And like that's really all you need for this character. You just need a Murderous Eye Jewel with T1 life for your gloves. You just need a Searching Eye Jewel with T1 life. You don't even need that for the maim if you want it though. And then my boots are just the same thing. Mine have some stats on them that help me like just barely balance my stats, but you could easily make that up on your rings or on your amulet if you don't have Zoph's Blood, or on your helmet. You know, there's lots of room to make up that stuff. And then the creme de la creme, this belt I crafted myself. I actually was trying to turn OBS on before I crafted this belt because I was doing it off stream. I had disrespect and I was like, oh, let me make myself a belt. But I forgot to press record. Well, I did press record, I just missed it slightly. So that feels bad. But I crafted this. It just took like 2 Scour Elks. I hit the base without Ellie Res or life recovery rate. Slammed it once, hit Ellie Res. Slammed it again, hit life recovery rate. But I mean, this belt too, it's pretty easily replaceable. You could just get a Wed belt with life, or even a Stygian Vise, or you know, a heavy belt. Anything with high life and Wed is perfectly fine. High resistances, you don't need the life recovery rate. It's kind of just something that is a little bit of bonus. It makes a big difference. It's about 20% more life recovery from having this belt versus not, because you get the life recovery rate and it's a huge amount of life on the belt. But far from necessary. Totally could replace it with any old rare really easily. Flask-wise, one of the most common questions is why I'm using a Writhing Jar. I'm going to explain that a little bit here. So, with a Slayer, you get more damage if you've killed recently. You get cannot be affected by bleeds while leeching, and you get 20% of overkill damage leached as life. Writhing Jar is perfect for all of these. So for anyone who's unfamiliar with the Writhing Jar, this is what it does here. So when you pop it, it spawns these 2 worms, and they kind of like whittle around a little bit. But when I kill them, it activates all of those effects. So if I turn my Blood Rage on right now, you can see I'm not degenning. The reason is I just got a huge overleech pool off of the worms right there. And, you know, that just, it works out insanely. Your leech lasts so long, I can probably Blood Rage again. Yeah, I'm still just barely started degenning from 1 press of it. And you can activate this at any point throughout your mapping just to keep up Rampage. On my weapon swap, I haven't been utilizing this enough yet, but I'm using Sinvicta's Metal. I'm using this to trigger Rampage. And so you can actually do this really easily. Let me show you guys how. So if I go back to town, I need to get my flask back. So this is a really cool thing you can do with the Writhing Jars. When I enter a map, I can pop the jar, spin, swap weapons back to my Ngamahu, and I can tell which weapon's active based on these buffs here, and that will trigger Rampage. So then I can just continue onward with my Ngamahu out, and as long as I kill a mob every 4 seconds, then I'll keep up my Rampage stacks. And it's great. It makes the map a lot faster. I'm kind of lazy about it because I'm always reading my chat and I know I'll let it fall off, but you know, that's something you can do to kind of min-max with any Cyclone character. It doesn't even need to be a Writhing Jar. You can just pop out, or even a Cyclone character, just any character. You can just walk out there, kill 1 mob with your Sinvictas, swap back to your main weapon, and then you're good to go. You got Rampage up. Let me demonstrate that real quick for you guys here in Blood Aqueduct. I wasn't going to do this, but it seems like a good idea. Okay, so right now we swapped to this. We can see the Purity of Fires come out, kill kill both worms, and then I leap around. You see, I've got my Ngamahu on right now, but I'm generating my Rampage, and it's because of that axe and just that awesome interaction with the worms. So it makes it a lot more convenient, because sometimes killing a mob with your Rampage trigger can be annoying, like swapping back when you're already in combat, things like that. But that just really makes it simple. Otherwise, I'm running a Jade Flask and a Stibnite right now. I might switch these out. The main reason I was using them was for porcupines. Porcupines tend to be a big killer of Cyclone characters. I mean, you have to get right up in the face of them. You don't tend to have Shatter, and you're pretty vulnerable to them. So Evasion's just a great answer to that. Stib Knight is also cool for blind. It's really good at that. I'm using a Dying Sun for the AoE and the projectiles. It adds 2 more projectiles onto your Molten Burst from your Ngamahu. And then just a quick sliver of Adrenaline. Tree-wise, this is what we're doing. Now that I'm Resolute Technique, this is how we're looking. Just kind of picking up every life node I can. Next level, I'm going to be picking up this one, and it'll put me above 8,000 life. Then I'll pick up Juggernaut. I know it's better to get this right now, but I'm just lazy, and I don't really like to respec points, and this one is only 4%. So even though it's technically better, I just don't really care. I'll get it if I ever hit level 97 on this character. And if I die, you guys can all type in my chat, oh haha, if you had Juggernaut, you would have lived. And, I'll eat it. I'll take it. The pathing here doesn't feel too good. I don't like going this way to Volpack, but to me, it just looked like the best path I could do. The thick skin's nice, lots of life there, but point blank is very necessary. You really need this to scale up the ball damage, because you're always going to be at point blank while you're killing bosses. So you get a huge chunk of damage there. Hatch Mastery is a pretty nice node. I picked up Hematophagy and Vitality Void to get even more life leech per second. My current life leech per second, I believe last time I looked, was like 5,700 or something like that. It might have gone up a little bit. I gained a level today. But yeah, it's pretty nice. And then just pathing over here, pick up Elementalist and Catalyze, all the good stuff. But I'm really happy with this character. It's been going really well. You can see I've filled out pretty much my entire Atlas right now. So far, the only Guardian I've done on it is Hydra. Tomorrow and the day after, I'll be attempting Chimera, Phoenix, and Minotaur. I'm probably going to end up dying to one of them. If by some miracle I manage to not die to them, then I'll attempt Shaper on this character. And if I survive Shaper somehow, guys, keep in mind I'm bad at this game, I don't do bosses. But if I somehow survive all that stuff, maybe I'll do Vol Temple or die to that, or maybe I'll try Uber Elder and die to that. But that's kind of where I'm at with this character right now. Hopefully you guys like the video. Let me know what you think about the kind of like including a little bit of a recording to go over at the start for the intro or whatever. I could definitely do that in the future. I've had a lot of requests for a bow build video, so one detailing the character that I played to level 100, Marty FML. I've respected to Raider, like I said in my other video, just kind of to mess around, but I actually played Deadeye, so I could do a video on this character. I already have a video on this character that I uploaded in Bestiary League, but a lot of people want something up to date. It's the exact same character, literally nothing has changed, but I can do that video if you guys really want to, kind of talk a little bit about the new leveling stuff you can utilize and things like that. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll probably have another update on the Ngamahu character whenever I end up dying on it, or whenever I'm ready to put a video out, maybe the day after I die, we'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think. I appreciate all your guys' support. It means the world to me, and yeah, hope you guys enjoy the video.